you've probably been feeling pretty depleted and pretty tired pretty often, where it's like you want to be living your dream life. You want to move out of the reality where you have to work so hard in order to maybe catch a break and be able to do that transition of like leaving your job for your dream job and your dream business, whatever it is. And you're just like, how do I get out of this cycle of working so hard and then not having the energy to do the things that light me up? So that is the key right there. We need to do the things that light us up. We need to rejuvenate, no, resupply, resupply, kind of, I guess that's the word, your life force energy. And so when you are full of life force energy, you will have this openness to the divine. And so we're like online, when you're just in that flow state, when you're moving, you're inspired, you're like everything you're touching turns to gold. And that comes from finding that within ourselves. But I know from experience, like when I was working my 9 to 5 job and I was chronically ill and I wasn't even making enough to like really see doctors at a certain point. I spent all my savings on trying to get healthy, and I was just like, how is this life? Like I knew there was this source within me. There's a source within all of us, this one infinite consciousness that we all are, this infiniteness, this abundance, this unconditional love, this creativity. Creativity is our divine essence. Like we came here to create something. You're here for a reason. And I was like, what is my reason? I can't even figure it out because I'm so fucking tired. So there has to be a change. And if you can't find that ability to transition from where you are to having the time and the space to feel divinely inspired, then you have to let things go. And that can be physically, that can be, physically, well, also like in your relationships, also in your mind, beliefs, emotional things stored within the body, different things. We have to make more space and more time. Really, it's like we'll say, oh, I don't have time to do that. How much time have you been scrolling? Maybe it's time to delete social media for a little bit. Maybe it's time to take a break from certain things, to pause certain things that you've been doing, to tell your friends like, hey, for the next month, like you might not really hear from me for a little bit. I love you, but I just need to like really do something. Like I remember when I first did that 10 years ago, I didn't know what was happening, but I just kept telling the friends that I was like partying with and everything. I was like, I just need to be alone right now. I'm moving through something just like that. And I did that. And it was the most pivotal time of my life. I felt life force energy like no other. I had a huge spiritual awakening. I spent time alone. I was just thinking within my being, observing my thoughts, observing where I was in time and space, who I was, especially as empaths. It's like we can so often just forget who we are because we take on all the people around us, all the environment around us, just to try and like cope with it, but understand it, relate with it. And empathy can be a gift, but we so often don't know the boundaries of it and how to use it as a gift. And so I was just a product of everything around me. I was like, where am I? And this time, this summer that I spent alone pretty much, I did that, and I tuned in, and I was like, wow, what do I want to eat? I went to like the farmer's market and the store, and I would just look at the food. I'd be like, body, what do you want? And I would eat exactly that, and I would be very intuitive about it. I felt amazing. I was like, I don't want anything to ever take me out of this state. I was getting downloaded. I was getting visions. I was seeing like my life purpose. I was like, whoa, this is incredible. And that only happened because I made space, because I gave myself the time, because I disrupted the patterns. And so that's the other thing that we can do in order to start triggering this ability in this space for getting downloaded with our essence, with our life force energy. We can disrupt patterns. And my favorite way to do it is traveling. And so you don't have to travel far. Like maybe the investment's not available to do that right now. maybe it is. For me, like I did a few at that, when I had this awakening, I, had that summer, and then I went back into old patterns, back into hanging out with people that maybe like didn't have the same values as me anymore. And I didn't want to let go of my old life yet. I wasn't the same when I went back to that old life. Like I was almost like living two lives, where I had this like aware, awake part of myself. When I was at home, I was like a closet meditator. And then I would go out and I would be with my friends, but I was happier, even though I, was still doing that lifestyle in college where I was disconnecting and partying all the time and everything. There was still a part of me online. So it's not like I lost all my progress, but I wasn't willing to give it up. So I had many years of learning lessons because I wasn't ready to let go yet. And that's completely fine. And then eventually I just merged the two, and I was like, this is who I am fully. It's okay if I lose friendships because of it. It's okay if I, don't have the same life anymore, if I don't look the same, speak the same, all the things. I was like, I'm ready to let go. And so in that process of going back and forth between my lives and everything, I would take some solo trips. Like I went to Hawaii. I would go on just like little drives and sleep in my car. This wasn't really that, but I moved to Italy based off of a soul calling. So when you go, even just small things, like I went to a spiritual retreat in Florida, and I went to a spiritual retreat in Sedona, and every single time I would leave my environment and disrupt those patterns and come back, things would fall apart, shit would hit the fan. And the things that were depleting my life force energy, like my toxic relationship, we'll call it a toxic relationship because it wasn't really a healthy one. It wasn't necessarily toxic because it was just showing me the patterns within my being that I needed to see and heal. And so in that way, it was a healthy relationship. It had to come to an end though, because I was so tired all the time from trying to fix it and hanging on to it when it was no longer alive. And so then after that, I felt a new level of life force energy. I felt a new passion. I developed friendships that were more aligned. I developed a life that was, inspiring to me. And the same thing with the next time I traveled to Kentucky to go visit my dad. I went on that trip and just disrupting my patterns, because going into a new environment, doing new things, even just taking a new way home, driving a new way home, going to a new grocery store, it disrupts those patterns. And so I went on that trip, and as soon as I did that, my job fell apart. The job that was depleting me for 5 years, I was just so tired. I was trying to make it work. I was trying to love it, trying to be grateful for it, but I knew that it wasn't the right thing, and I knew that I didn't want a job. I knew that I wanted to be doing this. And the job, just like the terms became crazy, something I couldn't agree to, and so I just at that point quit. And so by disrupting our patterns, whether we're doing it with EFT tapping within our being, doing shadow work, and we're disrupting them inside there, or we're going physically to a new place, doing new things, having new conversations, reading new books, trying a new style, changing your hair, doing whatever, just disrupting patterns, whether however you do it, it will change your life. It will shake up other areas of your life. And when they're shaken up, you'll start to see what's solid and what's not, what's on a good foundation and what's not. And the things that are not on a good foundation will fall apart, and then you'll have more space, and then you'll get downloaded with more life force energy, and you will feel this inspiration and the sense of self, yourself, your highest self. And then you will start to remember more and more the reason why you're here. And then you will get to the place where you don't have to do this double life where, you're dreaming of your dream life, but you're also in this life where you're really tired and you're like, how do I get over there? They start to merge the more and more and more that you bring forward the truth of who you are, and you let go of the things that are taking up space that are not in alignment with your truth and your highest potential. Then eventually you just become the product of your dream life, and you become the product of your highest self, your highest potential, and that just is you. But you have to choose you. You have to choose to fully embrace you. You have to choose to let go of the parts of you. You can't have both. Your new life is going to cost you your old one. And we can go through many different ways, like I've just explained, of how we can arrive at that place. But the easiest way to do it will be to just choose you. Choose your authenticity. Choose to show up as you. Choose that it's okay that if things fall apart. It's okay if those friendships and those relationships and that job, that living situation, ends. I loved my home. That was a big reason. Like, when I look at it honestly, when I was in my relationship, we had a beautiful home, and I didn't want to let it go because we were facing the golf course and we were close to the ocean. We could see the ocean from our house, and I was like, you know, we built something nice here. If I let go of this relationship, even though it's dead, then I also lose my home. And how am I going to get a better home? And then I faced that part of myself. I was like, that is a lack mindset. My dream life self doesn't have a lack mindset. And then the next time after the relationship, I moved into an even more beautiful home, like gorgeous home, ocean view, every window on the other side of the house, canyon view. It was gorgeous. And I was like, this is my golden handcuff. This is still holding me back from the life that I want, which is to live in a van in Italy and to see where life takes me. And that is exactly where I'm meant to be right now. And so we have to be able to let go. Even if it looks nice and sparkly and wonderful and golden handcuffy, you got to let it go if it's holding you back from the life that you truly want, from embracing all that you truly are. So I hope that this landed. If it did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new here. Leave a comment if you feel called to do so. If you don't know what to say, you can say hello to Zima. This is my recording studio for my program right now. So right now we are in week 4 of decondition. So decondition is my newest program. It's a 12-week program all about deconditioning the mind to set yourself free so that you can start to remember the truth of who you are, your highest potential, and stop living in this matrix where you think that you're limited and that you have to work so hard and that you have to do things that you don't want to do. So this program is just, it's everything and more. It's so fun doing, and I just feel like it is purpose. Like, it is part of my highest timeline. And I also have 21 days to know your divine guidance and 21 days to rewire your mind, which are my other programs. And then you can work one-on-one with me as well. So I'm gonna go do therapy, and then we're gonna build my fence, finish building my fence. I don't think we're doing any work on the roof today, but my area is coming together. And then soon we'll put up the glamping tent and make the yoga studio and sound bath area. And I can't wait to show you guys all of that. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.